As a huge fan of portability in general, and the Switch specifically, I have entertained the idea for quite a while, the hope really, if you will, that Sony will eventually, one day, who knows, put out a PlayStation console that kind of follows the concept established by the Switch. And it's this level of shameless copycatting that maintains this hope of mine. This is not a first for Sony. When they put these things out, it's very obvious what they were trying to mimic. And last night, in the middle of the night, I guess technically in Japan it was like noon, so that makes more sense, Sony announced the PlayStation Classic. There's a little nifty little video to go with it and everything. And here's the details we know so far. This thing is coming out pretty much everywhere on December 3rd, and it's gonna cost $100, or I think like $900 in Australia. I'm really sorry, Australians. I know everything costs like double when it gets down there. It sucks. This thing is gonna have 20 games, but so far only 5 have been actually announced. Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, Ridge Racer Type 4, Tekken 3, and Wild Arms. So I'm not sure why they're not giving us the full list. This doesn't bode very well. Like a movie trailer, they tend to show the best parts in the trailer, and if these 5 games are the best they got, where's Symphony of the Night, Metal Gear Solid, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Crash? Where's the real heavy hitters? Not feeling this so far. And considering this thing comes out in December, there's really no point to hide the list other than the fact that it's probably not the best the PlayStation has to offer. In the box, you're going to get the little console itself, an HDMI cable, 2 non-DualShock controllers, which means longtime fan favorites like Ape Escape are not viable, which is going to turn off a lot of people. You get a micro USB cable to power the device, but not an actual charger, a little power brick. They just assume you have a bunch of those lying around, which it's probably true, but why not just include one? How much, with the supply chain that Sony has established over decades of making things like this, it would have cost a couple more cents to put one in the box. I don't understand this. I'm not a fan how they're wired controllers, and yeah, you're gonna say, yeah, Nintendo did it, and you didn't say anything, so Sony doesn't. No, actually, I hate wires in general. I go with Bluetooth for everything I can, so kind of disappointed that they're going with wires. That's the part of old school gaming that I don't like. Although it looks like the ports for the controllers are standard USB, so it's possible that you might be able to use something like this, the GameSir 4GS controller, which is something I have to review here. I haven't yet, but I'll get to it. This is a controller that is Bluetooth, but also comes with the little dongle here for regular 2.4 gigahertz transmission. So this works on a lot of things that you wouldn't expect it to work, like the GPD-XD. You can actually connect this using a USB hub and it works. So, but then again, that's Android. Android is very, very flexible. It works in a lot of ways that you wouldn't expect. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but you can connect a mouse to an Android phone. A mouse. Another thing that concerns me is that I'm running out of HDMI ports. Between my SNES Classic, my PS4, my Switch dock, that's it. I have to unplug things and I guess TV manufacturers didn't anticipate this nostalgic cash grab. Now, this is the part that I find interesting about Sony jumping into the nostalgia fray. Jim Ryan, then Sony's head of global sales, once told Time magazine, "When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, I can say it is one of those features that is much requested but not actually used much. That, and I was at a Gran Turismo event where they had PS1, PS2, PS3, and PS4 games. And the PS1 and PS2 games, they look ancient. Like, why would anybody play this?" Now, as of January of this year, that is the same Jim Ryan that was promoted to Deputy President of Sony Interactive Entertainment. I guess what I'm saying is, it looks like someone changed their mind. So bottom line is, this thing looks cute. If you're into things like this, if you're one of the suckers that knows full well you can emulate, because that's the thing we hear when we buy things like this. Everybody goes like, oh, why didn't you buy like a Raspberry Pi or emulate that on your phone or whatever. We like actually having the little console that you can touch and you can press buttons and everything. I mean, you can't press all the buttons. This one is fake and this flap doesn't work. But we like the physicality. We like the fact that this is a legit controller made by Nintendo. It's like there's some value in that. So That being said, I'm not totally sure I'm going to pick this thing up. I'm deep into the PS1 library. I was a Super Nintendo kid, and then I jumped right to the PS2. I skipped a lot in between, and I'm only now exploring the PS1 library, as I've mentioned before, through emulation, the GPDXD and my PSP Go. So this is a library that is quickly becoming, I want to say, retroactively nostalgic to me, because as I play, say, Symphony of the Night, it's an older game, and it puts me in that 90s mode, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like I'm really enjoying this game in the mindset that I was supposed to be in when these games came out. Like, I'm really getting all of that from this. So you'd think that this would be a no-brainer for me. But for $100, non-DualShock controller, so a lot of games are not gonna work on this. Only 20 games, and of those, they're only telling us 5. The thing is a few months away. I don't see a point in hiding it. Like I said in the beginning, it telegraphs the idea that the 5 that they announced is actually the best we're getting. And the wires. Just, if this thing was Bluetooth controllers that I could actually use with other things, I know I'm asking too much, but then I'd see more value in this. For the controllers alone, $100 for a pair of controllers that you can use with your phone or whatever, I think Sony would have hit a nice sweet spot if they had at least thrown in wireless controllers. But what do you think about this news? Are you excited about the PlayStation Classic? Do you think it's too much of a rip-off? I mean, it is. They're not mutually exclusive. You can be both. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you like what I do here, consider liking and subscribing. Hit the notification bell, because YouTube kind of sucks at letting you know that I put out new stuff. So that notification bell really helps. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm super active over there, always sharing pictures of my collections and things like that. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff there too. Parts of the creative process that you don't often get to see, so there's that. And as always, let me know where you're from. I'm always curious to know where you guys are from. And that's all the time for today. I'm Izzy, and I'm done.